Yo guys, what is going on? Insanity coming back at you today with some more Division content, and I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about the future of the Division, where things are headed, and how Massive is going to be taking 2 huge steps back to try and make this game great again. Yes, I went there. I just took a freaking quote from a politician. I suck at life. But more important, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about all the craziness that's going to be happening in the Division, and how things are going to be changing. Certain stuff is going to be delayed, and how this game is going to be changed for the better for all of you that have, stood by this company and tried to make this game exactly what it was, and was excited for the Underground DLC, played all the incursions, played in the Dark Zone, tried to do your best in PvP without getting destroyed by exploits or ridiculous bugs, or dealing with enemies and PvE enemies that are just too damn hard to kill and take 50 million clips before they go down. There's so many things that are going to be affected by what is to come. And I'm really just going to go ahead and just talk a little bit about the roadmap that is coming in the Division, and how things are going to be happening now, how stuff is happening in September, and then October is going to roll around and we're going to be getting our first piece of everything that's going to be going into the Division to try and make this a much better experience. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and talk a little bit about what's happening right now. The state of the game just happened 2 days ago, and they pretty much just said, you know what, guys, we are putting everything on hold. We want to try and make sure that we're listening to the community when we hear you. We understand that y'all are upset, that there are certain things in the game that didn't really work out the way that they were supposed to. We tried to patch some things, and it broke other things, and there's so many things wrong, and balancing has always been a key issue. PvE enemies are still too tough. You can't go from hard and go to challenging and just get destroyed when you have decent gear or even great gear. It shouldn't be that difficult. But with that being said, they're going to be looking at the top 10 bugs that are going to be voted upon within the community, and they're really going to work on trying to get these things fixed as soon as possible. They're also going to be looking at known issues from the forum, looking at certain bugs from there. They're going to be doing surveys out for the entire community to try and make sure that they can reach even more of the masses to say, hey, what do you want fixed? What is wrong? What type of additional changes do you want to see come in the Division? And when all of that comes in together, they're even going to be taking people out and flying them over to Sweden to the massive studio to go hands-on to try and mold this 1.4 update, which is supposed to be coming in October, where it's going to be fixing core gameplay mechanics, systems, and rebalancing stuff to ensure that we have an all-around complete gameplay change for the Division. Now, there's a lot of stuff out there that's really just trying to make sure we don't know when it's coming, I guess you should say, like PvP, Dark Zone stuff, focusing on update, leveraging, and revised mechanics. There's so many other things coming involved with that. The survival DLC that was supposed to be coming out for PC and Xbox One in October has been delayed indefinitely. So what's supposed to be, they're looking at about November or so. So that means PlayStation players won't be getting it until at the earliest December, which is really, really crazy. I mean, that's a pretty big delay, figuring that was supposed to be out in September and then October for PlayStation players. So we were probably looking at by the end of the year to have the entire DLC season pass to be released, and now that's not going to be the case anymore due to this whole changes and rebalancing situation that Massive is going through, which is a huge plus, because like I said, guys, it's only going to make the game better. So we got the game, maybe we got a little bit early. They didn't get to finish out everything that they really wanted to. Maybe they did, and they didn't see all the problems that were going to be coming involved once you hit the end game, and that's where all these problems are really coming into play. The Underground needs to be rebalanced. The loot system needs to be rebalanced. There's a bunch of bugs out there that need to fix sentry and shotguns and all this other crazy stuff out there. Tactician, there's a million things for them to work on, and they have all the time in the world on it because they were upfront with everyone. They said this is what we want to do, so let them restructure this game. Don't give up on the Division. Yes, it is the holiday season. If you don't necessarily want to play it right now because there's a million other things coming out, great. It's a great distraction until the 1.4 update comes out, until the Last Stand DLC comes out, which has been delayed until early 2017 if I didn't make that known already. It's just, there's a lot of stuff coming to the Division, and it's definitely going to be worth the wait in due time. With that being said, I'm Insanity. I can't wait to see what they do. I used to love going through the Dark Zone because trying to do challenging when I had like really crappy gear didn't really do much for me. I couldn't do challenging incursions. Now I can because I got a bunch of 268 and 229 gear. But when I couldn't do it before, the dark zone was my home, and having to deal with rogues and how people that are in the dark zone, they're either there for PvP or they're there to piss people off while trying to steal stuff, which is a great gameplay mechanic. You know, it mixes things up. It's great. But when you have 4 players on a team just there the entire time to screw with people, it really messes up the idea of trying to run around and play PvP and farm bosses and go through the dark zone the way that it's meant to be done. I mean, it's ridiculous when you run into those people that are just trying to ruin the experience for everyone, rather that they have ridiculous gear sets that are built in a certain way so that they can all stack on one another and just destroy everyone. Yeah, it's dumb. But the other thing that could really make and change a lot of things is the world of PvE. They really wanted to say, hey, you know what? People would go to the dark zone. They wouldn't go back and do the missions. They wouldn't do anything. That's why they did the HVTs. Now, how about you really look at all of the zones, all the districts that you have in Manhattan? Reopen up Brooklyn. Maybe give some boss-specific missions in Brooklyn. How about each district has a boss that spawns in every so often like the dark zone does? You know, I mean, there could be a ton of opportunity for extra loot to come along in the PvE world, not to mention how PvP works. Maybe you can just completely change the way the loot drops in PvP. If you kill a boss, you're pretty much guaranteed a green now. And with all the people out there that are still playing and just learning, and yes, I understand if you're not a level 30, there's no sense in being in the 231 bracket. But if you're in the 231 bracket, why are you giving us blue crates? Why are you giving us crappy gear? Stop it. Find a way to get this fixed. If you agree with me, guys, and you're excited about this complete restructure of the Division, be sure to go ahead and give a like on this video. Sound off in the comments down below what you want to see come and get fixed in the Division, because I really do believe this is going to completely change the way that we are moving forward with this game, and it's going to be for the better. I'm Insanity. Like if you haven't, sub if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.